see life like a journey, and we're all just on this path that God's put us on. And right now my path is going a different direction. Raised in a Christian family, going to a normal church, and eventually being just kind of questioning why I was doing the things I was doing, because I didn't feel like I wanted to do the things that I was told to do. And eventually I just ran into the thought of, hey, God is real, and the stuff that you read about is real, and most of the things that are going on aren't real. So let's plug into what is real. When my father had a heart attack, and someone prayed that the doctors would be completely confused as to what had happened and that there would be no trace of a heart attack. I was very skeptical of everything. I was questioning God, questioning everything at that moment. And you know, later on that evening, we prayed, and I went home the next day. He woke up and there was a burning handprint where my hand was on his leg, and it was my fingerprints that were wrapped around, just glowing. And then the doctor came in, they did all the tests and said, "You had a heart attack yesterday, but there's no sign of it. Why are you even here? This is weird. We've never seen this before." And that miracle just really made me feel the love of God, especially at that moment in time where I was questioning everything, and just reinforced all the things that I've wanted to believe and that I thought were true about God, and I finally got to see them for real in my own life. And that's brought me along in so many different ways, and given me courage to pray for other miracles. Prayer is something that the Lord said my church will be a house of prayer. So I feel that that is a huge part of what God has called us to do, because He clearly said it, and that's something that a lot of Christians, I guess, don't recognize the importance of, is being intimate with God and communicating with a live and living God. And worship being the same way. Prayer and worship goes hand in hand. Just communicating with God, talking to Him, just listening. A lot of prayer is listening, I think, for me, but prayer and worship all tie in together. The biggest barrier I see for me and for others to be who they're called to be is just not understanding God and what He wants to do and who He is and how He loves. That's the biggest barrier, because when you get a hold of that even just a little bit, you get the courage and the boldness to step further and further into what you're supposed to be doing. The biggest hope I have for the church is everyone would become so intimate with the Lord that they want nothing but Him, and they're willing to do extreme things that might, in a worldly view, seem extreme, to have that. Just be so intimate with Him that you have that revelation of who He is every single day when you wake up, and you want to do what He's called you to do. That's the great revival, the last revival, the whatever you want to call it. That's the great hope, and that's what I'm wanting to usher in, is the just realness of who God is, and for the church to step into their destiny for what they're supposed to be doing. God is stirring up the hearts of me and people in my generation all over the world to just get radical about who He is and what He wants to do, and to be His hands and feet on the earth. So that's where I feel like I'm headed, at Kansas City, to be trained at IHOP and under the context of night and day prayer. IHOP and IHOP is just a wealth of just Jesus to me, and just a furnace where He can just mold me into what I'm supposed to be, just the environment of 24/7 night and day prayer and worship for over 11 years now. It's really where I just want to be, and just completely submersed in Him. Let God do His work.